Welcome back to another edition of the Gentleman Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle.
I am the co-host, Robert.
It's been a few weeks. We took 1 week off. Robert was, schmoozing with the bigwigs over at the Appleton City Hall.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it. I suppose I can get into it now. My middle son, Ryan, was meeting with the mayor of Appleton for a Cub Scout requirement to get his whole Arrow of Light thing. And, man, that guy is a tool bag.
Is that a normal thing? You have to get your Arrow of Light. You have to meet with a city administrator.
Yeah, like a political figure. It's they try to diversify all of your, like they do like the religious stuff, the political stuff, it's just a part of developing a well-rounded child, I guess, in their mind. But it was a neat experience. I mean, I got no beef with him, at least getting to know what it looks like. But man, listening to that guy talk, like you can tell, like he's just a used car salesman and he just knows how to respond to real hard hitting questions with just the most generic answers possible. It's Liz really gives me something to aspire to as a recruiter.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, am I right? You didn't you have a buddy that was almost the Appleton mayor?
Yes. Yeah, I think he took like fourth if you tallied him up, but
almost.
He didn't make it past the thing where you determine once it gets down to two people. But,
the preliminary round. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. His campaign was really entertaining. He put like vote for Eric Beach on a roll of toilet paper because everything politicians say is shit. It was kind of a cool thing he did. So he was putting rolls of toilet paper on everybody's doorstep. It was kind of fun.
Well,
as far as taking weeks off, though, we picked the right week because I was in a pretty disgruntled place there, fantasy football wise, over that last course. But now I feel like everything's right back where it should be. So I'm refreshed. I'm feeling okay about things.
Yeah, it's last week was an interesting week. I was in a bad spot too. I lost to a guy who scored 53 points.
You lost to a guy without a quarterback.
Yeah, well, and I almost won, but my 4-game winning streak was broken, and then I fell to 4-5, which sucked. But being 6-4 right now would be fantastic. But I'll take 5-5. I still have an outside shot of making the playoffs. Crawl is still in like a massive driver's seat for that 6th position. Even though he's,
and I wouldn't rule you out by any means, given that Lois and Travis are having some struggles currently, and I don't see those changing too soon.
And I got Travis this week, so I can make up that one game. My problem is I'm hopelessly behind a lot of people in points.
Right,
but I've been catching up. How about Andrew's team? We need to talk about. By the way, Andrew went on like a massive spree. The breaking news here is he went on a spree of trades.
I actually started that spree,
and so he started going on this trade spree. And I was like, Jesus, he turned over half his team. So then after he made the 3 trades, I looked at his roster and I was like, whoa, he really made some movement here. And
so I was willing to make a sacrifice to try to get my hands on Gronk just because I knew he'd eventually be back when it matters, during the playoffs. Because I had Ertz and I had Schultz, who to me were kind of like the same guy. 50, 60 yards receiving, middle of the field, the occasional touchdown. I didn't need 2 of those guys, but I didn't want to lose a piece too big, but I still wanted to upgrade the tight end before, people realized Gronk was back and he was, a touchdown machine again. So I figured Lockett for Deebo Samuel wasn't too big of a a concession, especially with Samuel. Although he had a huge performance this week,
He
which
did,
could be
yeah,
a
he had
little.
a real big performance this week. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that necessarily could sustain though. Now that Kittle's back, Ayuk is being used more. The Garoppolo thing isn't always on point, and
Hmm.
Debo himself is battling injuries. At the time, it just seemed like the right thing to do. Russ was coming back. I think Lockett's actually going to have a huge turnaround here, and it'll look a little more favorable for me moving forward.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the wild card in the whole thing is Samuel's been playing over expectations this year, and Lockett's been playing under expectations, and if that were to continue, then Joby definitely won the trade. If
Right.
that evens out, considering he really wasn't using Gronk. I mean, he could use Gronk. He's got Hawkinson. He's kind of in the same predicament that you are, where
Yeah.
there were options there, and if he could make a move somewhere to strengthen his team somewhere else, why not move one of those tight ends, which in his situation, works in his favor with Samuel. But if things swing the other way, it could work the same way for you.
Yeah. And the way I looked at it, I needed to have a tight end that could actually make a big splash in a playoff game
Hmm.
versus having, just that consistent guy. I've learned too many times that the consistency guys aren't going to do it for me. So having Gronk during the playoffs come back and be a target for Brady, especially with other receivers battling injuries and stuff. Who knows with Antonio Brown? That's week to week. He could end up being utilized even more heavily. And if not, I can just say he gets hurt again, I'll just leave Schultz in there. And all I really did was swap Debo for Lockett, which to me isn't a huge, either
Yeah.
one of those guys are boom or bust. And yeah, like I said, and the thing with Joby's team, like I wanted to pick somebody to try to make a trade with that I wasn't threatened by as far as like season points,
Oh,
record, things like that.
wasn't threatened by, huh?
So I figured why not, go after that Chud who's got, a half team the way it is and just let him have Debo. That
Yeah.
way, I might lose points, but him gaining them isn't going to hurt me.
Uh huh. Now, explain something to me here. Where the hell is the transaction log in this league now? I'm trying to find the actual trades that he made, and
Well,
it seems like there's no transaction log anymore.
that's not important.
Yeah, I mean it kind of is. I mean I don't give a fuck about a transaction counter.
Well, so
Uh,
there's my trade, Zach Ertz and Debo Samuel for Rod Gronkowski and Tyler Lockett. And then there is scrolling, wait for it. Luke got Cordarrelle Patterson, who is now hurt off of
oh, that's
Joby,
right. Yes,
for Justin Herbert. So as it stands right now, Joby's winning that trade.
and that's a big one for Joby because he just had Ben Roethlisberger and somebody else who I think is hurt. Who was
Yeah,
his other
and then
quarterback? He had two quarterbacks for a while.
there was a trade between Luke and Ed.
Also,
Keenan
Joby only made
Allen.
2 trades. I thought he made 3.
Right. The third trade was between Ed and Luke. Kyle Pitts for Dan Arnold and Keenan Allen.
Yeah, and I mean, flip a coin. I don't know what's a better deal there. I feel
Yeah.
like Kyle Pitts was coming on, but I just don't know what's going on in Atlanta. And
Well,
and
Dan
Luke
Arnold
and
had that
Luke
little
doubled
streak too.
right, and Luke doubled down on Atlanta too, with Patterson and Pitts.
Yeah.
Don't
Maybe
double down
that's
on Atlanta. I did that to start the year, and I had to get rid of both my guys.
well, he acquired Patterson, so maybe he was flipping Pitts to get away from having too many Falcons like
Wait,
you.
he traded Pitts? No, I'm confused.
Or-
Okay.
Oh no. Yeah, you're right. He got Pitts and Patterson. I'm
Okay,
reading
that's
that
what I
wrong.
thought. Yeah.
This is great analysis.
Yeah, we're really good at this.
Hey, we did our homework.
Um,
Well, that's Luke just trying to follow in your footsteps. I mean,
yeah.
you came out with 2 Atlanta players and failed miserably, and now he's going to do the same, and that's great.
He
That's
doesn't pay
great for him.
attention as much anymore, so, those things happen.
That's why I was shocked to even see him involved in trades. I'm like, who's managing
Yeah,
his
I
account? Did he
literally
just
have.
hire
It must be his wife because she
yeah,
definitely answers his phone. Uh,
his accountant or something is doing it? It's
uh, yeah. Let's look at.
but I gotta say, of all weeks for Lockett to completely fail, I'm okay with it being against the Packers because there were some big time passes that were right by him that he catches those. It would have been huge fantasy wise, but
Yeah,
you know, I'm all about them Packers.
and yeah, and Seattle was it. Wilson was off. I mean,
That
something
was
wasn't right
beautiful
there.
to watch. I was so happy.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna complain one bit.
That's the first time he's ever been shut out as a starter.
Yeah, which surprises me because like I would assume Rodgers has been shut out too, right? Everyone, you would think that almost all quarterbacks would be shut out at some point, right?
Yeah, I'd have to look. I have no clue,
I
but
don't know either.
it's hard to do. But I suppose at some point a team stops trying for field goals if they get that far behind. So I could see it happening.
Oh, I was arguing that the Packers shouldn't have kicked a field goal at all during that game after the Crosby miss. I don't like. I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care if it's not Crosby's fault because, like, trust me, I listened to the fan a little bit this week on my way home from work one day, and all everyone was talking about was the field goal situation, and of course, Crosby's been here forever. It can't be Crosby's fault. It's everybody. It's the holder's fault. It's the long snapper's fault. It's this. It's that. It's like I don't care whose fault it is. When your kicking game, like who I can't remember. Oh, in the San Francisco game, they were saying that Robbie Gould is 6 of 7 this year kicking field goals, and I'm like, Jesus, 6 of 7. Crosby's missed 7. Like Gould's
Right.
kicked 7 field goals. Crosby's missed 7.
Yeah, I don't does it seem like they've been missing more recently than in years past, even from like long range? I just never remember it being
You
this inconsistent.
so I think we say that every year collectively.
If we just don't pay attention to them ever.
I don't
till
know.
it
I have no
matters.
idea what the. I know things changed after they changed that kicking ball. It used to just be the regular football, and then they brought in a kicking ball or whatever that's slightly different. I know the accuracy's gone down since then, but I don't actually think it changes that much year to year. I just think we always think that, geez, they're missing more this year. But I mean, when you have your kicking game that's off like that, I'm like, I don't care if it's 4th and 7 from the frickin' 7. Just go for it. Like, why are we kicking a field goal? Fuck this.
Yeah, at some point you gotta just know that that's got to be like a desperation option. Anything under 5 yards. When you have Rodgers, you might as well just take a shot with him.
Yeah, you would think that, but then an NFC Championship game happened, and that wasn't the solution.
Well, he wasn't exactly showing signs of life in that game either. Like
Ooh.
I was torn myself when they made the decision. I was like, well, I could watch Rodgers throw it at, somebody's ankles again, or, take some points and
Yeah, but I mean,
try
if
for
that was the
something
case,
else.
though, then did you really expect that they were going to get back down the field and score again?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like
I'm
a
not
double-edged
saying
sword.
it was right or wrong. It's tough. And especially when you're a coach who's got all of 50 seconds to make that decision,
Yeah.
take a timeout. It gives you another minute. Like we had months to think about it and process it and make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to do on the back end.
Right, but
What
I
can you
mean,
do?
here we are splitting hairs again over something that happened, a year ago. Let's quick go over the matchups this week because every week as we go, I feel like the standings are pretty tight aside from the fact that there's like 3 guys that are out of it.
They look really pretty. Like every division has 2 people tied at the top and 2 people
Yeah.
tied at the bottom.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very uniform. I almost appreciate the symmetry.
I'm playing Crawl this week in a big matchup because I could gain points on him and another game and vice versa. He can tie me record wise which I guess.
Did you say Crawl?
Yeah. I'm playing Crawl this week.
Okay. I thought you said Travis earlier.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Okay.
And I guess, at this point, Crawl's as long as Crawl keeps scoring the amount of points he's scoring, his record really doesn't matter.
Right.
Because he can get in on points. Which is, I love rule changes. It throws a wrench in everything. Because
it does.
If it wasn't for that, I'd be in the playoffs. Then you're playing the old Panda guy, which his team's been rough lately. So I think he'll
maybe
be all
I'll
right
get
there.
lucky and he'll sit a quarterback against me too.
Well, I mean, playing either Tua or Heineke is basically like sitting a quarterback.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to sit Jones because Jones is going to be out at a minimum this week.
Jones?
So, Aaron Jones.
Oh, that way, yeah, okay. Then we got Steve and Jason. That's a first place matchup.
Yeah, that's a fun one, actually. I might keep an eye on that one.
We got Andrew and Ed. We can just forget that that's even happening.
Yeah, what do we even call that?
We got Luke and Ryan, which I'm going to cheer for Ryan on this one because I don't think I'm going to be able to catch Ryan, but I definitely am about to catch Luke in points, and I need him to lose some games. So let's go, Ryan. And and then you have Lois and Travis playing each other this week. So, one of the two guys is going to have another win and the other one's going to lose ground. I'm rooting for Zach in this situation, but I don't know how much hope there is for him there.
Yeah. So what determines the first round bye in our league? Did we change that at all? Is it just best records,
So
even if they're in the same division?
The first round bye is the top two division winners. And you know what? Hold on. Let's go to a caller, okay? We're going to go to a caller. We're going to discuss some stuff. We have somebody calling in here who wants to discuss some of the seeding situations here.
Ooh, this is exciting.
All right, on the hotline, we have Ryan Rumlow. Ryan has a bone to pick with you. Actually, no, he has a bone to pick with all of us.
You can pick my bone anytime, buddy.
All right, is that
okay?
Invitation.
We're
talking, guys, for the call today. But first, just just 10 weeks in, just really satisfied with my team performance today. Best record in the league, and also just crushing the division. The 5-0 record. And 2-0 against Jason heads up. So just just a great effort so far. The team's mostly through their bye weeks and just getting geared up for that playoff push.
Now, best record in the league. Some would argue you don't have the best record in the league because Jason has more points than you.
Yeah, well, so people can argue that, and I would understand that point. Just would not agree with that. But hey, you know what? I did research this morning. I did find out that the league is set for 12 points for playoffs. So even though I don't agree with it, I do understand it, and we'll have to make the appropriate adjustments accordingly. So just to recap, best record in the league, 7-3, currently sitting nicely in that fourth projected playoff position.
Okay, so the other night, Ryan and I had a conversation. It ended up being a heated conversation over a few drinks at a bar. But Ryan made a pretty decent argument on his end. Like, I don't have any way to discount what he's saying. It's just another way of looking at how to seed the playoffs. And so I have this sheet right here, which obviously you people at home can't see, but this is the official rule sheet for our league. And the official rule sheet has tiebreakers. There's regular season matchup tiebreakers. There's playoff seeding tiebreakers. There's playoff matchup tiebreakers. So the playoff seeding tiebreakers goes number 1, regular season record. Number 2, most points. Number 3, head-to-head record. So this doesn't factor in divisions at all. This is just a blanket seeding regardless. It doesn't change versus division. Ryan made the argument that we should qualify the division winners by record, then by head-to-head record, and then points, which I can't argue against that. That's not a bad idea. That's just we never set it up that way.
It does seem strange that you can have the same record as a guy that you beat twice and somehow still be behind him. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, exactly. I was just caught off guard that was a rule. So, I mean, I play, first of all, to win every week, and then second of all, play to win the division. And then when you do that perfectly, if I may add, and then still be seeded, fourth in the playoff projection, it's just a little confusing on my end.
I guess I would also add a provision to those rules where if you have 4 players from the same team on your fantasy roster that you're disqualified altogether for incompetence. But that wasn't your fault either because you don't do your own drafts. So I guess the whole thing is null and void.
Is it me or are some other individuals in the league kind of following suit as far as getting players from the same team? I don't want to say I started a trend there. But, you can't argue with results, I guess. So,
sometimes things just fall into place for you,
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to have the Bills,
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ryan, to me, Ryan brought up a good point. It's something I never thought of. Our playoff seeding is just a blanket. This is how it is all the way across. Maybe if Ryan would show up to a end of the year party or a draft, he could bring this up to vote. Ryan, do you think you'll ever do that?
Yeah, we'll see how the rest of the year finishes out. So there's 4 weeks. There's 4 weeks left in the year yet. So
Usually only show up when I win.
Yeah. I fully acknowledge that. I need to be there to make those types of changes. But, now I know the rule. There's 4 weeks left. Regardless, tied with Jason for record and down 50, 55 in points. So
I gotta say not knowing that rule is kind of a rookie Ed move there. I mean,
okay, not knowing if you can play running back in the flex is not the same as not knowing the playoff division seeding tiebreaker. Okay, I just want to clear that right now.
All right, fine.
In Ed's defense, he's still learning what the positions actually play on the football field. He's getting there.
Yeah, who's that C. Anderson guy?
Yeah. Now
he played quarterback. They were all the same to him. It was just people running around that he was throwing footballs at.
Right.
Now that we have to zoom Ryan in. Ed has a bone to pick with you, Robert, and I was hoping to call Ed, but at this point of the night, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to answer number 1.
Did he actually listen to one of the pods and finally wants to respond?
He has a bone to pick with you. He's like, why does Robert keep shitting on me? I'm like, wow,
Because he's never around. He's not present. I'm trying to bait him back in.
Well,
and he's taking that bait, Kyle.
Let's put it this way. Good luck with that.
He's hooked.
Ryan and I try to bait him into just having a conversation with us. Sometimes we can't get him to do that.
Yeah.
You just got to know how to work them.
No, I think this year, especially, just really close. Top 6, 7, 8 teams. I mean, I think all within a couple wins of each other. Typically, 10 games into a season, you start to see some separation, or you see a team really starting to pull away. So I think it's tight this year, and then with the rule of the last season points, I mean, it adds an interesting caveat. now that we're, getting through most of the bye weeks here and 4 weeks left, and just looking at the matchups in week 11, it looks like there's a lot of almost every matchup is within a game. They're within a game or two each other. So I think we're going to see that playoff bracket change quite a bit after this upcoming week.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm definitely cheering for you this week. Despite what Robert would want, but I need you to win this week.
Hey, I don't plan on letting you down there. So
hey, we're all out for our own self-interest, right? That's
exactly
why we pay to play.
Yep.
So we have one more guest that we are adding to this special Gentleman Fantasy Podcast Zoom edition. And we have Aaron here. Aaron is here for his excuse of the week. Aaron, why are you and Stephanie not having a baby this week?
So I've come up with a pretty good plan.
Okay, I got to hear this.
All right. So every night I'm going, putting the kids to bed and lay with them till they fall asleep. And I'm just staying in there.
That is a good strategy.
Well, here's the part that the kids don't like. Stephanie comes to get me. So I got, as I'm climbing over bed, fine, I'll come to bed, just bang into the kid a bit and wake him up.
AKA violently shake him awake right before she gets to the door.
Yep.
Oh, McKenna woke up. I got to stay in here.
Yeah. So it's worked out pretty good.
Yeah. And then if she complains, it's like, see, and you want more of this? Yeah. What are you thinking?
Exactly.
My favorite excuse was, now we actually missed this week because we missed last week, but for daylight savings time, Aaron actually told her, "Hun, daylight savings time is this Saturday. I don't think we're gonna have enough time, and we're gonna need to get that extra hour of sleep. So we should probably just bypass that."
Yeah, nobody wants to have sex jet lagged.
No, that'd be the worst. I'm just realizing I'm not sure what I'm going to do right now, though.
Well,
I think there's like a moon phase thing you can make an argument for. There's like, hey, if I heard if you conceive during this phase of the moon, that the baby has a 50% chance of having sickle cell or something crazy like that.
Oh,
just
yeah. I was thinking I might just sit here and pretend I'm talking on the phone for the next 2 hours until she's given up.
That'll work. That works for me.
I'm only doing the pod for another half hour tops. I can't be doing all that. Well, I still have a chance of getting laid, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife doesn't even know we're doing the pod right now. She crawled in bed with me, and we were talking for a little bit, and she fell asleep while we were talking. So I was like, I'm just sneaking out of here and just going to go downstairs. I don't even need to tell her we're doing this.
See, that's actually how I find out we're having a podcast, is when that happens and Kyle's like, oh, sweet, and messages me, hey, pod in 10 minutes. It's like,
That's how it works.
Doesn't matter what I'm doing.
Aaron, what is your Aaron's beer of the week?
Oh, I had quite a few good ones on Saturday.
There,
I think best one, probably the Veneration, aged in the 1792 whiskey barrels.
That was very good. You see, me and Ryan and Aaron and Ed are all in the Three Sheeps Barrel Society down in Sheboygan, and they had their Barrel Society party this Sunday, not Saturday, Aaron.
Oh, yeah. Close enough.
And we got to try some select beers, and yeah, the 1792 Veneration was fantastic.
Yep, that was one you'll never have again, and it was I wish they'd do that when release it to the public, but
yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
We also Nicole got us a cooter board from Small Town Grazing. If you are out there looking for a cooter board, which is short for charcuterie board, look up Small Town Grazing. I believe they're on Facebook. They put together one hell of a cooter board for us.
Yeah,
Gotta
that
love
was
a good cooter.
that was the talk of the party.
It was.
Lots of people were buying that up.
And 1792 was such a good year.
Oh, I know.
Did you know the Coinage Act was passed in 1792, establishing the United States Mint? The more you know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Is that legit, or are you just making this shit up again?
No, that's a real thing. Also, in 1792, Kentucky becomes the 15th state of the United States of America. Boom.
Wasn't that the year that Columbus sailed the ocean blue?
See, Ryan gets a cool inside scoop of how we cue drops over video. He's like, what is he doing with this?
I thought you were like directing a band or something.
More or less. Kyle forgets he has drops unless I...
I got this whole board.
I was checking the specs on the end line for the rotary girder. I'm retarded.
Anyways. So, while we're all here, Aaron, what is your comments on how the league is going right now?
Oh, I'm just really rooting for Ed at this point.
And we're still working on letting Ed give you clearance to be part owner of his team.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear him down for next year, I think.
Yeah,
I think we start that petition now. I'll be the first signer.
We just got to have you co-sign. That way, you don't even have to do anything. You can just watch over everything. Maybe you could insert the defense into his lineup that he picked up on Thursday for him. That'd be helpful.
Isn't Aaron the defending XFL fantasy football champion?
That is true. I mean, that would help.
Yeah.
Aaron has one XFL fantasy football championship.
It was in one fantasy league.
He's 1-0,
and yeah.
Things to aspire to.
You will be forever undefeated in your XFL fantasy league.
All it took was 4 weeks. Back. 2023. It's coming back, supposedly. I mean, good luck. We'll see what happens.
I hope
they just hired a bunch of people last week.
Did they?
Yeah, they have a new CEO.
Shit is happening.
Can we buy stock in this shit?
I don't know if you want to do that.
You have to talk to The Rock about that.
Yeah.
We talk about the former Battlelock backup quarterback being the 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady on Sunday.
Yeah, and we got 2 XFL quarterbacks in the NFL now. One is getting vultured by Cam Newton, and the other one just beat a Super Bowl champion in Tom Brady. Yeah,
but they both won this week.
Right, but Cam stole the thunder from PJ
Seeing
Walker.
Cam back in Carolina just felt right, though. I liked it.
Agreed.
Hit Robbie Anderson for a touchdown. It's like all was right in Carolina again. Minus the fact that McCaffrey got vultured by my boy Hubbard, who I was going to drop, but now I'm wondering if I should.
Well, who cares? It's a fucking Carolina running back.
It's the highest drafted running back in fantasy. It's relevant.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
See, now that you reminded me, I
could see McCaffrey talking like that.
I think we're going to go back to doing what we were doing here.
It's his nice way of telling you two to get the hell out of here.
Right. I think that's what we're going to do here. But
derailing you too much now.
Let's
see how it is.
Let's go into a unabridged. We're gonna just go straight into parent corner here. I'm sorry, family circle here. We can't use Parrot Corner's trademarked. Let's not use that. We're going to go into Family Circle here. Robert, what do you got for Family Circle this week?
I don't see my family much this time of year, but I'm told they're doing well.
All right, great. Thanks, Robert. Ryan, what's your family up to?
Oh, probably at the local establishment. But no, in all seriousness, deer hunting coming up.
All right. Aaron, what are your girls
Now, when
up
he
to?
talks about the local establishment, he means that they run a bar and grill.
No, they don't.
Our listeners at home that aren't part of like our life, our girl in Taiwan and all the other thing or wherever it is, would think that he's just saying they're a bunch of alcoholics.
No. But he is saying that now because they don't run a bar anymore. They haven't ran a bar in like a year and a half. 2 years?
Right.
Well, I'm trying to save their reputation.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
They're all just out
But
getting
no,
drunk on a
they're
Tuesday,
doing
whatever.
well. They're doing well. We can add that part out, right?
No.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, Aaron, what's going on with your girls?
Boy, not really much exciting things going on. Wish I had some stories to give you, but it's been pretty quiet lately.
They've all been lurking around the house really tired because they're getting violently shaken awake throughout the night. So
Yeah.
it's been a little slow at the household.
Recently,
They're
we've got
barely awake after school, and
Recently, you got a message home from Porter's teacher saying that she's fallen asleep in class now.
yeah, I mean that's to be expected with how her nights have been going. So not too concerned about that.
You can explain their sacrifice when they're older. They'll understand.
Yeah. Right.
Look, you get more Christmas presents because
All right.
Exactly.
I got fire here, all right? So, my kids are going through a phase right now, okay? And it's that phase that I think every family or children in families go through. And the phase that we're going through right now is every time we eat dinner, something gets spilled. Just like unavoidable. A couple, like they drink nothing but water with dinner now because inevitably a cup will get spilled. Or one of them will be walking back to the kitchen with a plate after they're done eating and the plate ends up on the floor. I've lost so many plates. We don't even give the kids glasses anymore. We started giving them paper plates for everything because we've had so many casualties for plates. Cups have been lost everywhere. There's been so many cups of water spilled on the floor. It's just insane. Does anybody else have that problem?
yes, they're called children, Kyle, and their motor function isn't quite as developed as an adult's. So occasionally they spill things. It is it's normal, especially when you have
It
a
isn't-
million kids in your. It's like law of averages.
It isn't
Look
an
how many
occasion.
small children.
It
It's a
isn't
kid
an
thing.
occasion. It is just literally every dinner time. It's like, all right, who's spilling what tonight? Someone just want to.
Such a first time dad thing to say.
Can
It's
someone
like,
can someone raise a hand? Just tell me who's the
these
one
kids
spill.
just poop all the time and spill stuff. I don't understand. Someone explain it.
My favorite's when they like spill something twice, like immediately in a row. And
Yeah, and the second time they look at you as if they were testing you too. They're like, huh, "What do you think of that, Dad?"
mine are like they do it the second time and they're just like heartbroken. I can't believe I screwed up again.
Oh,
Like,
I could see your girls doing that too, and then you can't even be mad at them.
yeah.
Oh, I do.
I'm
always
sorry
mad
you
at
did that too.
We're all sorry.
Uh, all right. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. We will catch you next time. And Aaron will be back next week for his excuse of the week and his favorite beer of the week. Ryan will be back next time he wants to scream at me at a bar over a fantasy football rule. And maybe we'll get Ed if we can do one of these before 7 p.m. But that's probably
Which will be
never going to
tough.
happen.
Well, you don't want to cut into his Halo time.
He's been playing a lot of Halo lately, apparently.
I do like that franchise.
I didn't even know they were still making Halos yet. I own a PS3.
Dude, Paramount Plus is putting on like a live action series for Halo. It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
Shameless plug. See if they'll give us some money for mentioning that. I don't know. Let's see if we can get sponsored.
Speaking of shameless plugs, how did the grand opening go?
It was bonkers. We sold probably 4 times more that day than we did on our best day up until then.
Okay.
It was pretty crazy.
Here's the burning question. Did anyone use the
Not yet.
podcast?
It's still wide open.
Shit. Well, Aaron and Ryan and I had a last minute idea that we were just going to fill up my van with league members and we were going to try to head out there. And then, we realized it was my birthday and my wife would have killed me had me and 8 other guys just took off halfway through the day.
It's your birthday. If I can't get into a van and ride off into the sunset with all my friends, then what the hell is the point?
Well, we
did for your bachelor party. Why can't we just do it for everything?
One of these weekends, we're just gonna fill up my van and we're all gonna come out to Appleton. We're all gonna buy our wives.
Words.
No, I'm serious. We're all gonna buy our wives Christmas gifts. We're gonna get our 1% off, and hopefully you and I can get a bottle of Early Times whiskey sometime in the next 5 years.
Well, if you do that, maybe I can justify her making a small investment when the XFL does come back and maybe buy a couple runs of Battlehawks attire at her cost and give it to us at another sweet deal. We'll come up with a promo code for that. Maybe we'll all get some new jerseys.
I didn't even realize that was a possibility.
Yeah, man, she's legit. She can get that stuff cheap as hell. She's just got to buy it in runs, like one of every size or whatever.
You hear that, dude? We can get a lot of Battlehawks gear, guys.
Yeah,
dude, it's science. I'm telling you, don't overpay on the website.
I mean, I already have 3 sweatshirts, 4 long sleeves, 17 t-shirts, but I can have more.
I got one t-shirt.
More. I'm getting tired of wearing the same, few outfits every Friday.
Imagine the new gear they'll come out with. It's going to be lit.
This is going to be great. For those of you who don't know, me, Aaron, and Ryan found that when the XFL went under, I believe it was like Memorial Day weekend, they ran this crazy deal because Dick's was the official provider of T-shirts. Dick's ran this deal where all XFL gear was like 75% off or something.
Yeah.
So you could literally get XFL T-shirts for less than a roll of paper towel. So we just bought T-shirts to use, to mop up spills.
Paper towel.
Yeah, just mop up spills. Wash
which is
walls.
Prevalent in your house, so that makes sense.
Yeah, wash walls in our house. Grease rags. Things to wear. I mean, we bought anywhere between 30 and 50 T-shirts between the 3 of us.
Well, yeah, the trick was to get at least $49 worth of apparel to get shipping, which ended up being
which was difficult because when every shirt was $3.50 and you needed to get to $50, you had to buy 15 shirts.
Could have just bought a couple and just paid the shipping.
No, because that's wasting money.
What?
I mean, I'm not going to bother explaining the differential math here, but good for you. That's great.
But that was wasting money. If it was going to cost you $15 in shipping, you could have got 3 more shirts.
Exactly.
Suppose so.
I mean, now we're stocked up for shirts, though. I mean, eventually, and I'm surprised I don't get the comments of what the hell are the Battlehawks, because so many people see me over and over again in Battlehawks gear because I just wear Battlehawks stuff 4 days a week. I'm surprised people don't comment on it. I don't know.
I've worn a Battlehawks shirt every Friday for the last year and a half because we have a video conference call at work, and no one has ever commented on me always wearing a Battlehawks shirt.
I can 100% vouch for that statement.
I think sometimes people are afraid to ask when they don't know what something is, and they're just like, they just go look it up on the back end. But honestly, Kyle, we're just all glad that you stopped trying to suction your body into your old Roncalli stuff and that you have Battlehawk stuff that fits you. So, much appreciated.
Shout out to Roncalli. I went to Roncalli last weekend for their fall musical, and they did a rendition of Jesus Christ Superstar, which happened to be my first acting role.
Wow.
Was in Jesus Christ Superstar back in 2003.
Incredible.
It wasn't as incredible as when I was in it, because we were just better at everything.
Yeah. I mean, that it was just an era. We just cared more.
Yeah. I mean, Robert was in, I believe, 4 musicals, and you got punched in every one.
Yeah, I really like to be the guy getting punched for some reason. I think I'm just hateable. Am I hateable guy?
Yes.
I mean, everyone else testify here. Am I the most punchable face in the league right now?
Well, I mean, listening to the first podcast of the year, it's hard for me to say otherwise.
Look, I was operating purely off of statistics here. Okay, I mentioned in many pods. I just go by the numbers. All right, your odds were not that great of having something like that actually work out. I'm impressed. I'm not saying it didn't work out for you. You have one more win than I do. I mean, cool beans, man. I just don't agree with it.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to call our quits for the night. I am Kyle with my buddy Robert. Ryan's on the line, and Aaron also. This is the Gentleman Fantasy Podcast. You guys all have a good week.
Steve.